Who were Gammanpila's targets? A very dull election campaign. Actors out in the open. The man who accepted Demetha. One reason for Weerawansa's silence. Choice words for canvassing father and son.
The leader, දේශයට මග කියන ප්‍රවෘත්ති පෙළගැස්ම.
Who were Gammanpila's targets? After claiming to come out with a massive exposure, Gammanpila made a mountain out of an anthill in the end, some say. His media briefing became such a dull joke that social media is full of sentiments against him. Who were the targets of his concerted attack? They are the two renowned police officers, Shani Abesekara and Ravi Senaviratne. Who are they? Both are known to have done a unique service in criminal investigation. SSP Shani has been considered the best investigator in the police. He supervised probes into the Easter Sunday attacks, murders of Ruggerite Thajuddin, Paratha Lakshman, and journalist Lasantha Wickramatunga, and the abduction and disappearance of 11 Colombo youths and the Ratu Paswala shooting among others. He also uncovered those in the Royal Park, Angulana, Udatalawinna, Muhammad Siam and other killings. DG Ravi too resolved many crimes and took part in STF operations to prevent bombings at the height of LTTE activities. Both followed the law to the letter and never gave in to intimidations by politicians or any other. So they were revenged upon during the Rajapaksa regime, and the situation was no better during the good governance period. It climaxed during Gota's rule when they told the truth to the country and worked to ensure fairness for victims. Seeking justice for themselves, they joined the NPP stage on the 9th of June. 3 days later, the then government appointed a committee to probe the Easter Sunday attacks. Gammanpila is someone's cat's paw. Why did Gammanpila find fault with the two all of a sudden? Who wants to escape their investigations? Many say the government should look into those questions at depth. A very dull election campaign. With just 22 days to go for the general election, the campaign lacks any interest other than for the media hypes by the likes of Gammanpila. A court case against the election. Yesterday, a petition was filed before the Supreme Court seeking a ruling that the decision to hold the election on the 14th of November is unconstitutional. The petitioner is API Sri Lanka National Organisation Convenor Priyantha Herath. He argues that as per Clause 10 of the Parliamentary Elections Act, the nomination period was set from the 4th to the 11th of October. The law stipulates that polling dates should be fixed within a period of no less than 5 weeks and no more than 7 weeks from the date nominations are accepted, he notes. The petitioner contends the decision to hold the election on the 14th of November undermines the sovereignty of the people and violates the Constitution. Is the election date wrong? A social media post by Lalitha Hawagamaj first claimed the election date was wrong and that it should have been 15th November or a later date. He tried to bring the matter to President AKD's attention and notified the NPP's legal advisers. He took to Facebook after all those attempts were proven to be in vain. Objections by Buddhist monks. Previously, several Buddhist monks objected to the election date, noting that the end of their Vas period happens a day before. What the opposition says. No candidate nor party commented on the election date, maybe because they know the outcome irrespective of when it happens. Some opposition leaders said they were playing a losing and costly game at a daily campaign expenditure of up to 1.5 million rupees. They heeded none of the challengers, who found the date to be wrong as per the law. Newspaper takes it up in a big way. Last weekend's Anida newspaper took it up in a big way, saying the election date was wrong. It should be any day after 15th November, which is a Poya day, it said. It is claimed the wrong date has been decided by the legal division of the Presidential Secretariat. Coming to know about the contentious matter, ruling politicians consulted legal experts who agreed with it. However, no one had any special objection or concern for the day and the date was fixed. Opposition comes out of slumber to claim marks. The opposition took it up only after a court case was filed. The intention was not to get the date changed, but to ridicule AKD that his very first gazette had been reversed, and also that his secretary is incompetent. Some say it is a serious violation of the law committed by a president barely 3 days into taking his oaths to uphold the law and the Constitution. His secretary should take the full blame. That one's job is to ensure the full accuracy of the documents signed by the president. Also, it is surprising the Election Commission didn't notice this error. Had it seen it, it should have got the AG to refer it to the president and rectify it. An election commission which closely goes through all the nomination papers had been careless with regard to the official document that announces the election itself. Anyway, the court has to make a ruling. Critics say whatever that is going to be, the election outcome won't change in any way. Actors out in the open. Candidates are now in the possession of their preferential numbers. So things are becoming interesting for them. Veterans who don't contest this time are seen beefing up their respective camps in behind-the-scene roles. For examples, Ranil bats for gas cylinder, while Mahinda promotes flower bud, and Sirisena does likewise for his son. Ranil launches media campaign. Those who gathered at Flower Road campaign office were wondering as to what Ranil would say in his statement on Thursday. He told them the media campaign would begin on Sunday, and that he would address around 10 rallies from the 28th. Daily media briefings will be held here and at Sirikotha, he went on. Ravi K said they should take maximum advantage from the divisions in the SJB. We should fully support our young group that is contesting this time, he said. Ravi K gets a contract. Ranil asked Ravi K to specifically support Sagala, as well as his former digital media director Kashal to enter Parliament. That one said he has already arranged several meetings in Colombo North in their support. He is now friends with Sagala, having forgotten their past rivalries for the party's sake. 3 Liberal candidates with number 5, factorial number 5, is a special one for Colombo this time, because the rival candidates with that number are a cut above the rest in the Liberal camp. From the compass, it is Chaturanga and Iran comes from telephone, and Keshal is a gas cylinder contender. The man who accepted Damitha. Yesterday, Damitha said goodbye to Sajith and joined Mohan Pereira, the leader of the Democratic National Alliance. Who is he? Mohan is a former television professional who took to business later on, just like Dilith did. He is presently chairman of United Farmers Trust, the company involved in the controversial nano-nitrogen fertilizer import during Gota's rule. However, he denies any involvement. The latest deal. Following in Dilith's footsteps in politics too, Mohan got hold of some candidates and handed in nominations to contest all 22 districts under letterbox. Also joining him is Firebrand Party, previously belonging to Anoma Fonseca, but now owned by Sanaka de Silva. Dilith started it with Hema Kumara. Similarly, Mohan flattered Prabha Ganeshan and got the support of his party. Hema Kumara didn't sell his party, but Mohan and Prabha are said to have struck a deal. One reason for Weerawansa's silence. Various reasons are being given for the silence of Weerawansa these days. One goes as follows. Once the election was announced, he summoned his top team including Wijasiri and Dr. Wasantha Bandara, as well as electoral organisers to Colombo. First, he made an analysis of the presidential polls result. Then, he asked his audience to decide. Some wanted to contest irrespective of the outcome. But Weerawansa had a different idea. Rather than to contest to lose, let's transform this into a political victory, he told them. So, his word prevailed. Thereafter, he called Gammanpila and said he and Jayantha Samarawera wanted to meet him. They met, and Gammanpila explained things. However, Weerawansa refused to budge. Gammanpila informed Dilith about it over the phone. That one tried to reach Weerawansa, but his mobile phone remained unavailable. Choice words for canvassing father and son. This leader, who sat in the top seat once, has lost everything by now. He is not contesting and fielding his son instead. The son contests not from the father's party, but from another that has the strength of a media network. So, fearing shame if the son loses, the father goes canvassing in his area. But the public response is not so good. Some have started berating him to his face. It seems there will be no more canvassing by him. That's it for today.
The leader දේශයට මග කියන ප්‍රවෘත්ති පෙළ ගැස්ම